You wanted to bring up a point about Carvajal. What was
Yeah,
it?
I think like even this was more evident in the last few games that uh, Carvajal also, I think, in the present day Real Madrid, his main attribute why he starts, well, obviously we don't have another right back of his quality, of course. He's still one of the best in Europe. But having said all of that, I think he is in the starting lineup not because of his attacking attributes, because of how good he is at defense with his positioning, screening, all those stuff. Because his attacking game has deteriorated. Even I have actually discussed this a couple of podcasts back. But Carvajal is can be sometimes really dangerous for Real Madrid when it's about transition defense. Even in this game, in the first half, a couple of times he was just bypassed. I don't have the name right now with me, like who was on Celtic's left wing. He was just bypassed like nothing. He couldn't just keep up with pace. Now, this is not a skill or talent issue. It's just physical capability of keeping up with a faster player. I don't know what Madrid could do. Maybe inject Carvajal in an inverted role or in a deeper role. Don't push him that forward right from the beginning or something like that can compensate this. But against transition teams, if Madrid are pressing really high, Carvajal would really struggle. He has been struggling for a few games now, and that struggle was apparent today as well. And he's one of the only players in the Spanish national team from Real Madrid who is going to play in the World Cup as well. So, and he's going to be even more tired when he returns from the World Cup if Spain go even to the second round or something like that. So, in that sense, I'm a bit worried about Carvajal. I think Lucas Vasquez has lost a little bit of Ancelotti's trust in the last few games. Well, he was injured as well. Probably he didn't just want him to rush as well. But uh, once Vasquez got fit, he didn't play as much as I expected him to play. He only came in as a sub in a few games. Carvajal has been starting, you know, week in, week out. So it could be with his tiredness. It could be something else as well. But uh, his transition defense really worries me, especially what I saw in this game as well.
So one thing that I noted about this game is that a lot of Celtics' notable attacks were on that side, which is weird because their entire build-up mostly went to the right. But we remember them going to the left more in a lot of cases because the few times they went and attacked that side, they were able to get in behind Carvajal. This was a theme from the Girona game as well. The two big chances that Girona had in the first half were weird sequences where Carvajal slipped or fell, and both of them muscled off the ball or slipped or fouled or whatever you want to call it. I think there is a bit of a physical decline there. The one that I actually worry about too is because I don't see Real Madrid playing a high line once we get past to the round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, judging by last season. But one thing that I am worried about on that right side is Carvajal and Militao right now are just giving the ball away like crazy, and that worries me a little bit, and that's a little bit why I've advocated for Rudiger. So I think that is a, like it's funny. Like I don't think anyone actually in the like if you were to nitpick poor performances in this game, it was probably mostly from the back line, right? No one from the back
Yeah,
line really stood out.
yeah,
Attack was great. You can scrutinize Vinicius if you want, which we already did, but mid Modric and Kroos were reliable. The back line really was kind of the reason why Thibaut Courtois had to make a bunch of saves
yeah.
and also save a penalty. I also think some of that is also down to Real Madrid's press broke down a few times as well. And then, like, I think it was, let me just bring it up from my notes. I have so many tabs open. So on the 13th minute, it was the Furuhashi chance where he's unmarked in the box and nearly scores. I think at that point it was 1-0.
Yeah.
That was down to just a really, really bad pressing sequence where our press breaks down and 3 passes later, Celtic have a wide open chance point blank in the 6 yard box. So some of it was caused further up the field. So that needs to be a little bit more airtight. Again, like if you're scoring like this, and it doesn't really matter if you concede one or two chances here and there, but that needs to be addressed because a better team than Celtic can punish you. So that was one thing. So we can start like with my notes on Carvajal were basically what we discussed.
Yeah.
A little bit physically, I don't know if he's just not physically the same player. He has not lost any work ethic to me. The eye test
Mhm.
tells me the guy works hard every second he's on the pitch. He's still a great crosser of the ball. He will give you the effort. He will give you that like relentlessly and reliably. But then there are, I think, some aspects of physical decline on defense and also his ability to take players on offensively. That's also an issue. With Militao, he is just an absolute beast when it comes to aerial clearances, when it comes to tackling, step up interventions. His ability on the ball kind of remains a question mark still. Alaba in this game, just kind of quiet, I guess, but also had a couple of uncharacteristic giveaways as well.
Yeah.
Mendy had a weird game because it's an ill-timed challenge in the box that leads to the penalty which Courtois saves. You look it's not a joke. Like it's kind of a joke, but it's not. Like he is like insanely press resistant now. At first it was kind of a joke, right? Like, oh, look at Mendy, like you got to press him, like he's so reliable at a pressure, and I looked at the numbers after the game. He completed 100% of his passes today. I was like, what? Is that the only starter on the field that didn't misplace a single pass? Reliable on the ball, probably the only one who was reliable on the ball. I mean, like don't get me wrong, there were a couple shaky moments that I think didn't count in that statistic with regards to losing possession. I think one of them led to one Celtic chance. I can't remember, but but the point is, I guess the back line didn't really stand out in this game as much as the midfield and attack did.
Yeah, you're correct in that assessment. And about Mendy, there there was like this one sequence where he's able to fend off the Celtic attackers. They're not able to win the ball back from him. And this, because this is Ferland Mendy, this obviously is deep in Real Madrid's box. So what he does is just he he does some kind of like sign or whatever. Alaba picks his sign. Alaba then goes to the left back position, and Mendy just passes the ball to him because Mendy understands he can't bring the ball out from here anymore, but he has fended off the attacks, and then Alaba just does Alaba things. He plays a very surgical forward pass. I think it was to Modric, and then Real Madrid bring the ball out. So that was kind of funny to me that like he did all the right things, but he understood that he can't bring the ball out anymore. So he just trusted Alaba, and Alaba did what he was supposed to do.